pretty good corn crop. According to K.T. Barnett, my neighbor, I planted it on the wrong time of the moon because it's as tall as this ceiling, and the ears, you had to reach up, get to some of the ears that's so high up on the stalk. It's pretty good corn. Sometimes there's 2 ears on the stalk. My neighbor said I didn't have no way to haul it in, and he had a little Cub tractor with a wagon. Said he'd swap work with me. He'd haul it in for me. And he mentioned an old nigger that had a peg leg. His left leg was a broom's handle, you might say, from his knee down. But he could get around good. And he pulled much corn as I could. And we was pulling it and put 6 rows, throw it in a pile, you know, on the pile row in the middle of them. And I got old Peg Leg Ben to help me. He could pull as much corn as I could. And I watched my shadow at dinner time. Didn't have a watch. I made sure that the sun was high enough it'd be 12 or after 4 quit. We went out, Drexel had dinner ready. And we went on back to work after that. That was back when we was working from can to cane. You know, when the sun come up and the sun go down. That evening we were working and the sun was just about ready to go down there, pretty low. Old Peg Leg Ben said, well, you can put off dinner time, but you sure can't prop the sun up. Back in them good old days, you had to raise everything you eat for the table and all. Daddy, he'd get out there plowing the garden and the truck patch. He liked to go fishing though.
This is a different one.
He'd hang a cricket can around, a string around his neck. When he'd plow up a cricket, go to hopping, he'd stop over Jude and he'd catch him cricket. When he caught enough crickets, the mule learned when he caught enough crickets, he'd stop, put her in the pasture, and he'd go fishing. So old Jude didn't mind stopping. Finally, she learned that when he caught enough crickets, he'd put her in the pasture. And she got to where she see a cricket. If she had her foot up, she'd just stop and point, just like a bird dog. One day, and old Jude, the mule, was laying down there at the barn, eyes rolled back and her stomach swelled up just about ready to burst. And we didn't know what in the world to do to help her out, so we was really worried. And finally Daddy come in from work, and we told him about her down there at the barn. So, of course, he took off down there and we was following him. And got to where he could see her, says, I told y'all to keep that mule out of that clover patch. he got on up close, says, she just bloated, says, I'll take it. Well, I skipped some of it, didn't I?
Yeah. You messed up the first part, but it's okay.
Well, I told you to tell it.
You can start over.
Veterinary supplies in a little box nailed up on the wall at the barn. And one day I was curious and I climbed up. They didn't want us messing with them, but I climbed up there anyway and see what was in that box. And I found a cane and I made me a whistle out of it. It blew good, and I said to myself, well, I better put it back up there. Daddy will get all over me. So when he saw that mule laying there, he says, I told y'all to keep that mule out of that clover patch. Says, she just bloated, I'll take care of that. And he reached up in that box and got that cane, raised her tail and shoved it up. That whistle started blowing. She jumped up. She's always scared of anything. Started running, and faster she run, the louder that whistle would blow. She went over the hill blowing my whistle. I never did find it. Don't know whether I'd want to blow it again anyway.
Best story ever.
And she'd enjoy working on the farm back when I was a kid, after we got married. And we moved back here from Michigan. I'd go to the cattle sale. We had one in Starksville then. And I bought baby calves. I was wanting to get me a herd of cows going. I bought baby calves. These dairies had milk cows, you know, and they want to sell milk instead of feeding it to the calves. So at one time I had 13 baby calves out there, feeding them with a bottle. And you could buy stuff, mix up, just about the same as milk. It wasn't quite as good. But I lost one calf. I made me a little aisle fence in where I could line them up and get one at a time over here and one at a time over there. Two different chutes for them to come in. Feeding them with a bottle. Raised them little boogers. You talk about pets, if they thought we had a bottle, it's gonna come to you.